How do you think Clark is handling this?
I think she's handling great. I think she talks a lot of and she gets a lot of back. So she deserves everything she gets because she gives it as good as she gets. She's just not built for the physicality of this league. Like, she's third or fourth in betting odds of being MVP at the WNBA. These people are so disrespectful and so unknowledgeable and so stupid. If you're a basketball player, but just a recreational golfer like Caitlin is, the delusional fan base that follows her disrespects the LPGA golfers by thinking she can go into this tournament and do anything. There are actually fans that think she can make birdies or even pars. These people are so disrespectful and so unknowledgeable.
What dark secret hides behind Hall of Fame coach Geno Auriemma's relentless criticism of rising star Caitlin Clark? Why would one of the greatest minds in basketball go so far as to mock her for something as harmless as playing golf? To uncover the real motives fueling this unexpected feud, we need to dig deeper into the tangled history of these two basketball giants. Because this clash is not just a petty jab, it's the symptom of something much bigger, something that could change the future of the game itself. On one side stands Caitlin Clark, the player who has electrified arenas and turned women's basketball into a cultural phenomenon. On the other stands Geno Auriemma, the legendary architect of dominance, a coach who ruled the sidelines for nearly 4 decades. Their paths were never meant to cross in this way, yet here they are, locked on a collision course. The question is, why? To understand the roots of this conflict, we must first revisit Auriemma's empire. Beginning in 1985, he transformed the University of Connecticut women's program from obscurity into an unstoppable dynasty. Under his command, UConn became the gold standard, 33 consecutive winning seasons, 6 undefeated runs, and the staggering record of 1-1-1 straight victories between 2014 and 2017. 11 national titles cemented him as the winningest coach in Division I basketball history. But Auriemma's legacy doesn't end with championships. His leadership sculpted icons: Sue Bird in 2002, Diana Taurasi in 2004, Tina Charles in 2010, Maya Moore in 2011, Breena Stewart in 2016, and now the projected 2025 #1 pick, Paige Bueckers. Time and time again, Auriemma proved he knew how to mold the best of the best as long as they wore his jersey. But what happens when the brightest star in the sky refuses to orbit his universe? That's where Caitlin Clark enters. Unlike Auriemma, she didn't dominate from the sidelines, she took command on the court. During college, she swept nearly every major award: back-to-back Naismith Player of the Year, AP Player of the Year, John R. Wooden Award, Wade Trophy, and Ann Myers Drysdale Award. She rewrote history books, surpassing even Pete Maravich's all-time Division I scoring record, men's or women's. And then came the WNBA with Clark. The league witnessed something unprecedented: a tidal wave of new fans, record-breaking viewership, and arenas buzzing with energy. They call it the Caitlin Clark effect, and for good reason. Every time she steps on the court, the numbers explode. She is more than a player, she is a movement. Which is why Auriemma's harsh words sting so deeply. Why would a legend attack the very force revitalizing his sport? Instead of gratitude, Clark's arrival was met with Auriemma's cutting remarks. He has mocked her fans, branding them delusional, claiming their devotion somehow disrespects other players. He insists she is not on the same tier as the legends who came before. But what he refuses to admit is this: those fans weren't here before. They arrived because of her. They stayed because of her. And they may reshape the future of the WNBA because of her. So the mystery remains. Is Geno Auriemma's disdain born from honest critique or from something much darker? Jealousy, fear, the looming threat that Caitlin Clark's star may shine brighter than his own legacy. And if that's the case, then this feud is only just beginning.
If you're a college player and you're a great college player like Caitlin was, the delusional fan base that follows her disrespected the WNBA players by saying she's going to go in that league and tear it apart. There were actually odds on she's third or fourth in betting odds of being MVP at the WNBA. These people are so disrespectful and so unknowledgeable and so stupid that it gives women's basketball a bad name. Okay, so the kid was set up for failure right from the beginning. So if you're a WNBA player, and believe me, I've coached the best and I've pissed them off a lot and they let me know about it, but they were tremendously disrespected and none of them are going to say.
The cracks in Auriemma's bias become impossible to ignore when we revisit one of his own quotes. He openly sides with the legends he once coached, elevating them above Clark. And why wouldn't he? His legacy is tied to them. But that loyalty puts him in direct conflict with Caitlyn's rise as the greatest prospect women's basketball has ever seen. Take Diana Taurasi, for example, one of Auriemma's most celebrated proteges. She recently warned that Clark would face a rude awakening in the WNBA. Auriemma echoed her words without hesitation, as if protecting his own creation. He coached Taurasi at UConn, guided her to become the #1 draft pick in 2004, and watched her grow into one of the WNBA's biggest icons. Their bond runs deep, and his allegiance is unquestionable. But here's the twist. Both Auriemma and Taurasi insist Caitlin Clark is not ready, that she will crumble under the weight of the WNBA. Neither believes she could sustain her excellence as she transitioned from college to the pros. Their predictions paint Clark as fragile, untested, an illusion destined to shatter. Yet every time Clark steps onto the floor, she proves them wrong. Every record she breaks, every arena she fills, every new fan she inspires chips away at their warnings. And that leaves us wondering, are their doubts truly about Clark's abilities or about protecting a legacy threatened by the rise of a new face, a new era, and perhaps a new queen of the game?
Kids coming into the league, and Diana said it best. This kid's in for a rude awakening. And they all jumped over her, but they didn't read the whole thing that she said. But nobody's printing. Diana Taurasi was right. This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league. And
This hot take has aged like milk. Despite every doubt, Caitlin Clark has thrived in the WNBA, even as opponents throw extra physicality at her night after night. Yet, instead of owning up to his mistake, Coach Geno Auriemma refuses to let go of his old narrative. He clings to his disparaging beliefs, repeating them like a mantra. Even on a golf course far from the hardwood, he finds a way to attack Clark's growing fan base, dismissing them as misguided. But here's the catch. If his predictions about Clark's downfall already collapsed, why does he keep repeating them? Could it be that what's really eating at him has nothing to do with basketball at all?
They actually had odds that, she was like third or fourth in the betting odds to be MVP of the WNBA. That's such a slap in the face to every WNBA player. It's unbelievable, right? But it comes from a place where people want it so bad, but it's misguided, and certainly she's not, I don't think, driving it. She's not out there campaigning for it.
The golf course rant didn't stop there. Auriemma doubled down, speaking as if Clark's rookie brilliance had never happened. He described her not as a generational superstar, but as an average player, an insult that echoed louder given her historic season. Then, he shifted targets. This time it wasn't just Clark, it was her entire team. He mocked their defense of her, brushing off the bruises and cheap fouls she endured across the league. And hidden beneath his words was something more than criticism, a flicker of envy. Auriemma compared her treatment to his own past complaints about fouls, but his tone betrayed the truth. This wasn't just commentary. This was a man watching a spotlight he once controlled shine elsewhere.
She has good days, she has bad days, she makes shots, she doesn't make shots. But it's funny to listen to the fever management moan about physical fouls whenever, anytime I moan about the game being too physical. There's always somebody on that staff saying that I'm so what goes around comes around, doesn't it?
Yet no amount of dismissive talk could erase the facts. Caitlin Clark stormed into the WNBA and rewrote history. Even in her rookie season, she was unstoppable. Named Rookie of the Year just one vote short of unanimous. She shattered the rookie assists record while leading the entire league in playmaking. She climbed near the very top of the MVP ladder. She wasn't just an all-rookie pick, she was named to the ALWNBA first team, standing shoulder to shoulder with the league's legends. And when all-star votes came in, she didn't just win, she obliterated the record, pulling in 7,735 votes, dwarfing the previous high of AJ Wilson's 5,956. Clark broke scoring and assist records, silenced doubters, and ignited arenas. And through it all, she never fired back at Auriemma's barbs. No tweets, no press conferences, just her game, speaking louder than his words ever could. And that silence became her greatest weapon, because with every victory, every headline, every standing ovation, the pressure shifted back to Auriemma. The legend who once mocked her is now forced to offer praise, though sometimes disguised as backhanded compliments. And that raises the question, is he truly softening his stance, or just trying to mask the sting of being proven wrong?
I think she's handling great. I think she talks a lot of and she gets a lot of back. So she deserves everything she gets because she gives it as good as she gets it. She's just not built for the physicality of this league. Yeah, and she's not quick enough to get away from the physicality. So there's a lot of learning curve, like Diana said. And when she gets it, she has elite skills that are going to really help her. Yeah, but she needs to be on a better team, and she needs to be more experienced, and that will come. But for these ridiculous fans who had her slotted as the next Diana, now they're out of their mind.
Even when Geno Auriemma finally admitted the obvious that Caitlin Clark has elite skills carrying her, Through the WNBA, he couldn't resist twisting the knife. He immediately undercut the compliment, insisting she needs to be better. Almost comical. Really. One moment he says she isn't quick or skilled enough. The next he concedes she's handling the league's physicality with ease. And then, in the most ironic turn, he claims she deserves that extra physical punishment from defenders. The contradictions pile up. Auriemma even suggests Clark will struggle just like Diana Taurasi once did, yet Clark hasn't missed a step in her rookie year. He criticizes fans for comparing Clark to Taurasi, calling them out of their minds, when in reality, Clark has already surpassed Taurasi as a rookie prospect. What does this reveal? That Auriemma isn't just analyzing basketball, he's protecting something. His pride. His legacy. The truth is uncomfortable. Caitlin Clark represents a threat to the empire he built, overshadowing the very stars he once crafted at UConn. And deep down, he knows it.
You've been in the game for a long time. Have you seen anything like Caitlin Clark?
She hasn't done what you did. So yeah, I've seen it before. I saw you do it. I saw you take 2 freshmen and 2 other kids that had never started a game before in their lives and win a national championship. Not single-handedly, but do the kind of heroic things that Caitlin is doing. And her game is the evolving nature of the game where kids are like, they're fearless. They don't think about what's it going to look like if I miss this shot or if I take this chance.
Auriemma insists the Caitlin Clark phenomenon isn't anything new. To him, this is just another chapter in women's basketball, a rerun of the Taurasi era. But while the rest of the world sees Clark sparking a new wave, Auriemma seems stuck in 2003, clinging to the golden years of UConn dominance. He even argues the old days were better, framing the modern game as reckless, almost regressive. His words paint today's basketball as if Clark is leading a backward evolution where decisions are sloppy and fundamentals are lost. But is this nostalgia for a purer game, or a refusal to accept that the sport has moved on without him?
This kid, she's fearless. She just plays. She just is like a little kid in a driveway playing with her friends. So yeah, she's unique in that way. But in terms of what she's doing, people have short memory. Yeah, I've seen it before. I was there on the sideline. I saw you.
Sometimes Auriemma dresses his digs as compliments. He calls Clark fearless, but then adds a sting likening her style to that of a little kid in a driveway amateur in Hubiniliana, remark that spits on the hours of polish, precision, and study Clark pours into her craft. Because if she were just a kid in the driveway, she wouldn't be dismantling professional defenses game after game. Then comes the conservative refrain. I've seen it before in Diana Taurasi in his eyes. Nothing Clark does is new or special, it's all déjà vu from his past. This is the mindset of a man chained to the 1980s, unwilling to recognize the modern brilliance in front of him. To him, even Clark's entire rookie class is nothing special. But to dismiss a revolution simply because it doesn't resemble the past, that's how progress dies.
A huge target on this kid's back. I thought Cameron Brink said something really smart. She said, now they're expecting this rookie class to be perfect. This rookie class isn't even one of the best rookie classes in the last 10 years, but they've been put out to be that because the way social media is today. So what kind of impact is this rookie class having in the WNBA?
Auriemma reduces all the excitement around Clark to one word: social media. In his telling, her rise isn't about talent or transformation, but hype. Yet social media has kept his own name alive to his controversial soundbites spread like wildfire, keeping him relevant long after his glory days on the court. Which raises the question, does he really believe Clark is overhyped, or is this all just a performance? By painting Clark as a villain, Auriemma inserts himself back into the spotlight. Every jab, every hot take, guarantees headlines. Perhaps the feud isn't really about basketball at all. Perhaps it's about staying relevant in a game that's rapidly moving beyond him.
She talks a lot of shit on the court. All right, believe me. When people talk about in WNBA, why are these people beating up Caitlin Clark? Because she talks a lot of shit on the court. All right, that's what makes her good. So she's not like this, angel walking around there and everybody else is beating her up. Nah, she's got a lot to say.
It is never acceptable to blame the victim for being targeted. Yet that's exactly what seems to be happening. Caitlin Clark has endured an unprecedented level of physical punishment, chip shots, hard fouls, relentless contact documented more than any rookie season in WNBA history. And instead of condemning it, Coach Geno Auriemma sounds disturbingly like he's defending it, even encouraging it. He's quick to accuse Clark of trash talking, ignoring the obvious imbalance. She takes the hits, while he piles on with words. For Clark, though, this negativity has become something else entirely. Like every other wave of criticism she's faced, she turns it into fuel. Hate has sharpened her game, not broken it. That's what separates good players from transcendent stars. the ability to rise above the noise without ever responding to it. And Clark has mastered that art. She lets her performance do the talking, while her critics are left shouting into the void. But on the other side of this one-sided feud, the cost is mounting for Auriemma. Once respected as one of the great architects of women's basketball, he now risks sounding petty, jealous, even insecure about his place in history. Each dismissive comment chips away at the legacy he spent decades building. Instead of standing as a proud guardian of the game, he increasingly looks like a man clinging to the past. And that's the deeper truth here. This isn't just about Clark versus Auriemma, it's about old tradition versus new evolution. Women's basketball is at a crossroads, balancing reverence for the past with the undeniable energy of the future. Caitlin Clark's style represents that future, drawing millions of new fans and reshaping the sport's identity. Rejecting her rise in favor of the good old days isn't just short-sighted, dangerous for the growth of the game. This conflict symbolizes more than a personal feud. It's the tension every growing sport faces. Hold tight to the past or embrace the future. And right now, the future has a name. It's Caitlin Clark. She has become the face of a new era, one that fans have embraced. One that has elevated the WNBA to heights no one imagined. And if doubters like Auriemma had their way, women's basketball would lose the very momentum that is transforming it before our eyes.